Throughout the 1980s, political relations between the two countries became more normalized and economic reforms in China paved the way for acceleration in the American-Chinese trade, including but not limited to a transfer of goods, values, ideas, personnel, and technology. In 1980, the first special economic zones opened up in China and offered preferential treatment to U.S. and foreign investors. China eventually returned to the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. The interactions between the two countries were mutually beneficial, although whenever compared between the two, from the U.S. point of view, China trade was still small, having heavy competition from various other countries including its neighbors, Canada and Mexico, who they would eventually enter into an agreement similar to the Chinese of lowering tariffs and fees for imports into the U.S. through the North American Free Trade Agreement of 1990s. Yet another agreement the current president strongly disagrees with, as he states the U.S. is at a disadvantage in terms of what is gained for us through the existing terms. Now we'll discuss the present relationship between U.S. and China as trading partners. The man referenced at the start of this presentation is John Pomfret, who on Thursday, February 16, 2017, at WITA, the Washington International Trade Association, discussed the past, present, and future direction of U.S.-China trade relations. The association sought out Pomfret to inform them in his views of where, as a trade community, they should be headed, holding the panel and various exhibits at the conference to gather and debated modern-day trade and investment concerns, and how to address them. Pomfret, anticipating our group's selection for this project, discussed the historical setbacks, obstacles, and gradual evolution of U.S.-China relations. The panel and conference in general was a terrific success, with representatives from both the private industry as well as the public sector citing newly realized opportunities to deepen trade ties and focus on the country's interdependency in order to improve an appearance of cooperation and reinstill confidence for both countries' respective trade market. The need for this improvement is evident in the various uproars our now 45th president, Donald Trump, caused during his campaign trail with various disparaging comments toward China, including claims of purposefully inflating the currency and declaring an end to the NAFTA agreement, so that Americans could once again strive by encouraging the motto, Buy American, Hire American. Between 2001 to 2015, the United States had a massive trade deficit with China, having grown excessively since the end of the Great Recession. The growth of that deficit can help explain the failure of manufacturing employment fully recovering along with the rest of the economy. As other studies have suggested, the trade deficit has cost us millions of jobs since China entered the World Trade Organization in 2001. So what's next for these two countries? Let's discuss how the future of U.S. trade relations with China is going to progress and where we are headed with other countries with trade agreements as well. On the campaign trail, then-candidate Donald Trump proposed a 45% tariff on imports from China. This is problematic for a variety of reasons. The first being that China has seemingly surpassed the U.S. in a power play for the greater, stronger superpower. The second of which is the political climate as previously discussed, with Chinese lawmakers hesitating to seem any less successful through a compromise with the states. The population in China is very nationalistic, with its attitude toward the United States being quite ambivalent. Most recently, members of Congress are infuriated with Donald Trump for threatening China and signing an executive order to end the NAFTA agreement, primarily affecting our neighbor countries, Canada and Mexico, as seen in this picture here, despite a hopeful visit from China's leader and his wife at the White House. China has begun exploring an idea of a One Belt, One Road that would allow trading more accessible with others. Other countries who were a part of the NAFTA agreement have since then met with China to join their OBAR trade agreement. The future for the United States-China trade war is now looking weak on behalf of the U.S. since Donald Trump has put us in a difficult situation. Whether we can save future trading between the United States and China all depends on the members of Congress by putting a stop on Donald Trump.